So. Hey. お願いします。
お願いします。
Great. So we'll just loosen up a little bit. Okay, front and back. That's the sides. Rotating. Okay, go away. Okay, look into the head, up and down. To the sides. To the shoulder. Circling slowly. Change direction. Okay, roll in the neck. Take it to the shoulders. Forwards. Back into the back. Change your arm. At the elbows. So wrists. To the hips. Changing direction. And then straighten the legs. Circles. Away. Yeah. Going up the ankles. Leg. To the toes. Back onto the heels. Sides of the feet. Swing. The shoulder. 𝒕𝒉𝒂𝒕. Yeah. Shaking the wrist up. Down. Side to side. Get in front of the arms. Shaking the legs. Okay, shaking our body. Okay, great. Take a bucket. We'll do a little bit of room. You can take it. Great. So we'll just go into the first Suburu. The main thing with this, if we're going to Taijutsu, just really think about the kind of Kokyu movement. So this kind of movement through, and especially we'll go into the Shomanichi work later, but think about this kind of relationship and the way the feet are basically working with the arms. So weight in the back foot, think about really releasing this up and then coming into it, settling the hips in. This in place. And also in this case, really slightly roll, the whole body concentrating in to the front. Take a okay, changing the left and right side, just on the spot, bringing it to the spine, cutting in. Okay, taking it into Zengo to the back. And then just taking it here into Shomanuchi to the front, just working with a back step up, a slide in, front step. Coming in, pressing the weight in. That same coordination, all together now, placing the weight in. Okay, cool. So we'll take it into the kind of Shomanuchi with the hand. So the main thing, the first thing is to get this idea of splitting the grip with the sword, or splitting basically the sword working the grip. So you've got the two hands working rather in this position, but in starting to come into this kind of position. So we'll just work with the front hand first. So use that same position with the right foot forward, and just play with from here, just this idea, that kind of raise. Just play with here, just the right hand doing it. So this coming up. You want to learn that this hand is releasing, you're coming right up into it. Same footwork, so that the body's coming straight in this case. Just got that same sense of the raise, just in the hand here, so come into that position. That feeling that kind of surging from the ground into the hand. So you can also do this if you switch the hand, you can do this on the left side. Let's show that about the whole body working together. So the backhand now, if you've got just play with this where the sword's in the right hand, left foot forward, and you've got again this kind of position. But playing out, you've got this movement in, and then think about this arm coming in, and that arm's going to basically reach for the elbow. So you're looking for basically in this position, that, and they're basically starting to control the elbow up this way. But basically both hands working together. In this case, you're already working from a great position with the sword. We'll do this without the sword next, but this, and the whole body. Just think of the whole body going into it. So the front hand, back leg, front leg, going together. You got this. Then keeping that thing that the body's working from the ground. So. Yeah. So you've got this idea from the sword, this feeling, or you've got a split in the hand. So you've got this hand's doing one thing and this hand's doing the other. So in this case, this hand's doing this movement. And then what you want is the idea that this hand's coming in from below. And this is like a classic 𝒂𝒄𝒄𝒖𝒄𝒄 movement. What I don't want to do is just kind of come onto the elbow this way. And the other thing is don't think straight away about the 𝒂𝒄 kind of taking it to the side. Think first, my idea is to get the arm and then start, once I've got the arm, once I've got the hand coming up, I want to start to take the elbow away from the person. So I'm not pushing into them, but I want a little bit like I'm floating them out of the ground this way. That means this hand's going to do this kind of motion into it. So, and they're going to do it together. So they need to kind of work. Obviously this hand goes in first because it's in front, but this hand then comes in this way. So you've got this. And at that point, the practice is a bit more in this hand because I need to start getting them out of the ground, basically uprooting them here. So just think about that connection to the back leg. If I miss this, I basically go out to the side this way. So look for this and this. Slow movement, but that position is really controlling the elbow. Basically denying them the ground from that point. So that coming in. Look, this kind of motion. It's really rooted in that kind of sword raise that we've got. We do a lot. That's it. Yeah. Okay, and then again, bringing the focus back into the front hand a little bit. So you've got that movement coming to here. This arm starts to take the elbow. Now from here, think about this rolling out. So this is this kind of motion. The main problem with the 𝒊𝒔𝒏𝒕 is you want to get this position in, but you don't want to commit to the 𝒂𝒄 yet. So you don't want to go into this idea that I'm going to take the wrist here and then try and do it down. Just do the first thing is really think about the 𝒊𝒔𝒏𝒕 there. My key is kind of destabilize the body this way. So I've got this roll from the hip, and then from this position, once I've got it, then you find the wrist in this position. So I've got the person in this position already, and then it's just a case of finding the grip into it. But don't think in this case about taking the grip here. Think about this hand rolling up and to the side. So it's really this, and that movement's from the hip. So you've got this motion, this coming in. And then from here, just think about, you've got this hand, the hand in front. This is going to roll open that way. So I've got this grip and then that. And then from here, you take the grip. This is on strong anyway. And then you're rolling down the hip this way. We'll just go that far, just take it to the cut. So you come up, open. Both hands together, taking the elbow. This rolls, take the wrist, drop into the hips. Okay, and if you want feedback on it, just use the walking forward. Come up, there, and then you're looking for this kind of roll against it this way. That's it. That's it. Okay. So those kind of same issues with the sword work, because you're doing a kind of downward arc at this point. There's a tendency to lose the extension in the body, and the body goes into a position like this. Similar thing happens with the Aikido, so to here, and then something like this happens. I guess you get into this position. So think about the back. Think of this whole movement kind of comes from the back of the body. So think from this position, the back coming in here, and then the back stays long here, this way. So you got the whole body engaged down. What you're looking for is the center of the body. The same with the cut. The center and the hips basically wedging into this, in between the hands. Same feeling here. The center basically wedging into the hand. This way, if I drop it, I end up in this kind of position. So don't lose that extension as you come up. So you've got this strong extension up from the back of the body, and then you find the grip, drop the hips down, but keep that extension in. This way. That's it. So it's lengthening through the spine as you drop. Okay, then we'll take it to the last step through. So you've got 1, 2, coming in, taking the grip, dropping in. Now from this position, if I look down the line of the pocket, that's basically where it would go down to the head and into the head, through the arm and into the head. So your direction now is not this way, but it's straight in this way. So you're stepping, in this case, you've got the person here in this position. You want to, once you've got the balance here, step straight in through the posture this way. So once you destabilize them totally, you can step into it. You've got this, take the wrist, drop in, and then your direction's now this way, straight down it. So you go in, deep step, straight in, whilst keeping the extension on. So where was that? That's in, 1, 2, strong extension, and then maintain it as you step in. Straight in. And that's obviously when you can take it to the ground. And that's step. So the foot we've got to kind of slide in, open out, drop in, and then big step in. Nice. Yeah. Good. So the extension, or the 𝒂𝒄𝒄𝒿 will fail on the extension, or the quality of my extension. So the main thing you want to think about with this is that the hands, once you've got the grip on the hands, that they're both extending this way. So where the 𝒂𝒄𝒄 generally fails is the tendency to lose one side of the extension. So in this case, this side's gone and this side's on heavy, and this happens usually with the step, something like that happening, and this kind of extension's gone loose. So you can save it with another technique, but you basically you lose the 𝒂𝒄𝒄 on this point. So look for once you've got that position and you've closed the grip on the outside hand, think about the outside hand as basically extending over this way into this angle. This hand's going into the kind of the elbow and into the body, but this hand's super important because what it does is it draws the person out of the posture this way. So this arm's controlling the elbow, but this arm is drawing them out. And if I lose that one, then basically the person can basically regain the arm, control of the arm. And once they've got that position, they can drop the elbow back in. So that's generally where the 𝒂𝒄𝒄 fails. But look for now this idea that the extension's equal, both sides this way. It's tricky because this tends to take the focus. But look for now the outside hand. As you go in, this is extending over into this way. So if in this case with the bokken, it's a little bit like I'm pulling it apart, not with force, but just kind of stretching. I'm kind of stretching the fibers of the wood. And the same with the person's arm, I'm kind of stretch the connection out into the arm so that it's tight, and then drop it in that way. This is basically maintaining, keeping the slack out of the system as you do it. In this case with the bokken, but with the arm, the same. Let's see. Yeah, good. No, I think you're on mute.
Is it your back muscle again that is activated with that extension? This one?
Right. It's the same thing, like that's the same thing from the sword cut. It's easier with the sword cut because I've got the arms basically in that position and dropping in the elbows. But think you've got that same position here, there, and then that. So that side of the
triangle.
Yeah, that whole back goes in. And then again, the key is like, how do I keep that as I step in? There's a tendency as I start to loosen up. So keep that feeling like you're draining down into the ground that way and then that way, but this stays all engaged into it that way. At this bit also like you're spreading into the ground through that step. So that step is like, and I'm also thinking like I'm trying to. This is the hard part that you can't do with when you don't have a partner. But I think about spreading the person away. So I'm controlling the structure with the arm, the balance points here, and I'm thinking about spreading the person's structure away from them. It's a little bit like I keep the connection here with the elbow, and I'm stepping in to press them away from it, and then control it into the ground this way. So you've got that constant, basically lowering them into the ground, and that feeling of spreading down all the time as you do it. keeping the back strong. That's the kind of key to this. Yeah, now just watch the back foot as you step in, but Bernie, in this case, just watch this. Don't leave the back foot, so don't push out of the back foot. In this case, think about just cutting into it. This later on, sort of for the 𝒂𝒂𝒏 makes it super easy. You basically come in, that and stepping through it this way. But that leg I basically stabilize through it. You can shift it, but during the step, think as you're coming in, I need this foot really solidly grounding me in. So this is like the same, like with the 4th and 5th 𝒊𝒏𝒈. So this idea is you come in, you're sinking the weight down, and then there's transference of weight. There, and then you adjust the leg. That similar kind of feeling you've got. So that, you're transferring the weight across here. And then once I've got that, then I can adjust that leg. But keep the pressure in the back as you step in. Yeah, right. And the whole body's going to roll into it. That's a little also like the kind of 𝒍𝒊𝒂𝒕 as well, that kind of feeling of pressing to the ground, pressing from the ground. Yeah. Nice. Got it. Yeah, that's it. Okay, we'll take it to the 𝒂𝒂𝒏. So the only real difference now is that the initial movement. So rather than this movement happening and coming out to the side, you take the back leg straight in, so you're coming into this position, this way. So just a slight adjustment of the foot, but you're doing this, and then the hip is coming in this way. Your aim in this case is trying to get to the outside of the foot. So you're stepping around this position. You capture the arm up. So you're looking in this case to draw the person into this spiral. And then obviously the 𝒂𝒑 is working in this spiral to the rear, finding that one. So, and just focus on the hands coming up. And then we did that with the arm as well. So just get both hands working together. This arm comes in with that leg. So you've got the weight coming in, the back leg, and this hand kind of punching up. Again, the aim is to get the arm, capture the arm, and uproot the person into the ground. So this originally, also you see this with the atemi point. If you go to like the Buddha book, you'll see this originally was done like with that and that coming in with that strike, and then that hand's basically coming up to the elbow. But what we do in terms of basic now is that sense of coming up, capturing the elbow straight away. But this hip is starting to cut in, and I want to think about the direction I'm going to take as I do this. So I'm thinking as I do that about drawing this. It's that next step as I do it. But just look at that now, first step coming in. And then think about both hands coming together. This hand goes to the head, this hand's coming up. And it's the same with this one. Don't think too early about the Aikido, because what will happen in that case is something I get into this position. So I get fixed, and then I basically lost this angle. And then to do the technique, I basically need to muscle through it this way. So think about just getting, you basically want the person in that position extended out. So ideally, they're trapped in the toes, in that kind of position. And that's so they basically can't make a step without losing the balance into it. And I try and control which step they have to take. But so that means, again, look for this front extension, that position, or in this case, look for this position. So this is really opening the person out this way. And then the wrist basically here, in this point where the bokkum would be, I use that same motion there. This is where the 𝒂𝒂𝒏𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂 transfer the weight to that foot, and then you've got the rotation out, so keeping that extension. So it's going to the, taking the grip, but you've got that same sense that we did with the 𝒂𝒂𝒏𝒄𝒂𝒃. Keep the extension in both hands. Once you've got it, it spirals out, and that feeling of spiraling and spreading out. Tricky movement with the rotation. Yeah, and let the back foot come straight in from the beginning burn. So that, yeah. Yeah, so what you're looking for in this one is straight away to have that position this way. And then basically you've got the angle set up where the person's there in that position. So I'm a little bit, once that foot comes in, think of that foot and this hand reaching the elbow. Yeah, so this goes there, straight in. And then I've got the person really rolled out into this position, and then I can take them into that next step. Think about that. There's a little adjustment here, but the main one's that foot coming in. Yeah. Go ahead.
Also thinking about the weight underneath the elbows.
So
instead of trying this,
pushing
it down, just keeping it underneath, but
just underneath and just away from them. Yeah, this is where Ikkyo. I mean, if you look at Ikkyo in other most Aikido schools, it's basically just a push into the body, something like that. And like if it's a more martial style, it's like a wrench on the arm, something like that. And this is just really easy to resist.
Counter.
It's really super easy to counter. But and look, think about once you got that. The main thing to think about once you got it is keeping that arm extension and that spiral, which passes out to the.
Then going back again.
Yeah. And the main thing is it always gets put into an arm, I mean, it is an arm technique, it's on the arm, but the main thing I want to do is uproot the person from the structure. So I need to have that in that initial movement, that kind of feeling where I'm underneath it. And then once I've got it, I can take it with me.
Yeah.
So if I don't have that, it won't work. But.
Yeah, what I saw Lewis do, if you do it correctly and your uke is not prepared to take ukemi, you will just smash them in the floor.
Yeah.
Because they are basically not expecting this kind of direct movement.
Yeah. And also, if the angle's perfect, like this is really where the urus are. But if the angle's perfect, you can't resist it. You just go. You just go with it. And if you've got the person that, if you can capture the whole structure through the arm, and you take the right angle, boom, the person just goes totally to the ground. And if I'm not prepared for it, then bam, you just hit the ground. You just hit it.
Yeah, and you hit the ground face down.
Face down, right, as well. Right. There. And then the other thing which is tricky in this case, again, it's anytime you're rotating the body and you need weight to pass through it or pass through the structure, this is going to be tricky with it. But thinking this Ikkyo as well, you're going to, the one thing this tends to turn into is basically just a rotation this way. And then somehow try and find the ground as well. But think of this as one big spiral in. So it's this movement in, and then you've taken the arm. This is going to all spiral towards the ground. This way. It's much trickier, and also I can get away with the emote. I can get away with a lot of things. I can come in, drop the person, and step in. I can cover a lot of mistakes. With this one, if I don't capture that spiral, I basically end up force there, and then I've lost it. It starts to spin out, and then I can't really get it back. So I'll just kind of lose the balance. So as you do this one, it's again about the connecting the center, the hands. But think about now dropping them down into this kind of spiral. So in a way, it's a much softer technique. And it really relies on the wholly on the extension and the connection of the body through that spiral into the ground. This one, pretty tricky.
Thank you, Michael.
Great, Nina. Thanks. That's it. That's it. Definitely. Yeah. Yeah. That's it. Okay, good. So just play with them both, emote and Ura. So you've got this basically where you've got like a static Kihon form. Something like that. Looks to see if you can, you don't want to blend this together so it's fully kind of Kino Nagari, but so you can basically fit all these kind of parts together. And the same with the Uruwaza. The Uruwaza is naturally more fluid because it's kind of working with that outside spiral. But look for the similar thing here. This. You're just kind of slowly working towards it. If you want to split it, the split is basically going to happen here at that point. So really stabilizing the body and then coming into the means the set. But look for now something which is basically gonna over down. Step and control it. The key points there, control there. Where it is. There.
Michael?
Yeah.
With the aura former,
Yeah.
when you step in, is that at the same time that you actually rotate your hip in?
It's beginning. It's beginning to rotate.
Oh, this?
Not quite. Yeah, it's
This.
yeah, it's in between. So if you think like it's in between. But if you think about like kind of henko,
Yeah.
so this idea where I get that and I start to get that angle to it, but I don't fully twist the hip in like that kind of where I basically lose that kind of. The same similar thing here as you go in. I want that hip. I want the rotation to start that way, but I don't want to fully rotate the body out, something like that, where I basically lose it. So it's beginning the rotation that way. And I'm definitely not in this case, but if I do from the front, I'm definitely not in that position here, where the hip's in that position. So it's more that position,
Yeah.
but not quite that position, which is a little bit too far. It's where I'll lose the connection in that case. So that's a kind of tricky. Okie dokie. So that's the Ikkyo. We'll look at the Nikkyo and the Sankyo another time. We'll look at them tomorrow. The Ikkyo is the main thing, but working with that big extension, the first thing is trying to make the connection from the sword work, because we're all strong in the sword work now from 2 years of really intensive training. But get this feeling, especially that kind of feeling, and then you want to start really splitting it out, and it's trying to make connections in the movements. There are not, some of them aren't so obvious, and obviously some of them are also with the Joe work as well. But the idea of working the body, all these kind of connections draining down. So if you're going to get stuck with them, go back to the basics of the sword work, the 𝒊𝒏𝒈 especially, and see if you can kind of work them out. But obviously there's these kind of technical details which are just kind of necessary for them to work. But we'll keep looking at them anyway as we go this week and beyond. Okay, great. Hey, domo arigato gozaimasu. Good, very good.
Thank you.
Thank you, Michael.
Very good.
See you tomorrow.
Thank you very much.